that to happen, of course, naturally. Everybody suspected it, didn't they? But maybe not as quickly as people really first thought. We're talking, of course, about the former royals known as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and of course, otherwise, some people might say fondly known as Harry and Meghan, and they're all set to split. As ever, let me explain. Hi, lovely to see you in this wonderful lush green corner that I found here. As I said many times now, I'm clinging on to this, because apparently later today we're going to have a lot of thunderstorms. But that's what you get with warm weather, isn't it? It's quite humid out here. Yes, well, I love to share these things. Everybody knows that. And as ever, thank you so much for supporting the channel and the videos. I'm glad that you enjoyed so many of them. By the way, it's interesting actually, because a lot of women agree on this particular story, which we did about the current British Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, and the wrongness, really, if you like, for want of a better word, of removing the other former British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Margaret Thatcher, shows a bit of weakness. And it didn't matter how unsettling the portrait is. A lot of women inside the cabinet, I've been told, now see this as a bit of a negative sign, because clearly Sir Keir can't stomach powerful women. I'd love to know what you think to that. You see, you can never do the right thing, so it's best to do nothing. And why not just leave the portrait up? What was really the problem? Clearly he wanted to make a statement. Women as ever are ruling the world inside number 10. Let me tell you, Margaret probably beams down wherever that portrait is. Back as ever to your royal story of the day. Well, it looks like for sure that this is now going to happen. We're talking, of course, about the biggest split between the former royals known as Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And this really all started, all thanks to this. That's right. Now, we hadn't seen them together for some time, had we? And then, of course, they popped up on the Sunday morning Element programme on CBS, and predominantly was to talk about their latest venture, which I had to look up. I thought, well, what was it? I'd lost sight of it, Although the thing is, the people that should have been given more airtime, their stories really deserve to be heard, because I do think it's a very serious issue, that of course, mobile bullying and digital platforms and stuff like that. I've got a friend who went through a terrible time of his daughter being bullied online, and he had no idea. And that's the thing, isn't it? When we were at school, you either got bullied and you told the teacher, but at least it was kind of out in the open air. Nowadays, it's all done without you even knowing, and secrets are kept. Terrible situation. But this apparently, according to a very well-placed source, will be no more. Harry and Meghan are through, not doing this again. And this is truly all down to one factor. And I think we all know what this is, don't we? You see, when they agreed to do the interview, initially, get this, it was only going to be Meghan Markle, as ever we have to say, allegedly. And then, of course, Harry came on board. But as we all saw in that particular interview, rather reluctantly, I felt, and when he did sort of galvanise himself into some kind of conversation, it was almost like somebody just, one of those dolls in the Muppets that, oh, okay, I'll say this now. It didn't really play out particularly well. Now, what's also important here when you think about it is that obviously you could see that Meghan didn't like the interruption, didn't want to share the spotlight, almost a scene of wrestling the microphone like she did with Kevin Costner. A source tells me that on reflection, when they got back and they re-looked at this, and naturally, as I told you the other day, they go through all the comments on social media, right, Meghan? Now, what's interesting is she's decided that this isn't a good look. They need to have their own paths. The problem that she has is that people only want him. And the problem that he has, he doesn't necessarily now want to be sat alongside, as you could see and testify to. They have problems, but all the while, this won't be happening for some time to come. Unless, of course, desperation calls that she can't get the booking without Harry at her side. And how long will that actually take? Interested as ever to report. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.